Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on the invisible engines that pretty much run your digital life, recommender systems. I'm talking about the secret guides that are shaping everything from the movies you watch to the music you hear. So, let's get right into it. You know that feeling, right? You fire up Netflix, ready to watch something new, you scroll, and 20 minutes later, you just end up rewatching a show you've already seen. Or you're on Spotify, trying to find that one perfect song for your mood, but there are literally millions of them. It's just overwhelming. And that is the exact problem we're going to unpack today.
See, we live in a digital world that's, well, it's less like a neat library and more like an infinite, crazy, ever-expanding maze. There are so many paths you could take, it's incredibly easy to feel completely and totally lost.
I mean, just stop and think about the sheer scale of it for a second. E-commerce sites have millions and millions of products. Streaming services have tens of thousands of shows, movies, you name it. It is physically impossible for any one person to sift through all of that stuff to find what they'll truly love. No way.
And here's the real kicker. There's actually a name for this. Psychologists call it the paradox of choice. The idea is that having way too many options doesn't actually make us happier. It often just leads to decision fatigue, frustration, and that nagging feeling that, oh, maybe I missed something better. It basically turns what should be a fun discovery into a total chore.
So, how in the world do we navigate this maze without getting hopelessly lost? Well, it turns out that every major platform has given you a kind of secret weapon, a personal guide whose only job is to help you find your way through it all.
And that guide? That's the recommender system. At its core, it's a really intelligent piece of software that's designed to just cut through all the noise, learn what you're into, and bring the best of the digital world right to your screen. Think of it like having a personal shopper, a film critic, and a music expert all rolled into one, working just for you.
And this creates what is basically a win-win situation. For us, the users, it's fantastic. We save a ton of time, and we discover things we end up loving. But for businesses like Amazon or YouTube, it's absolutely essential. It keeps us engaged, which, means more sales, more watch time, and ultimately a much more successful platform.
Okay, so how does this guide actually work? It's not magic, but it is really, really clever. It has a kind of playbook with a few core strategies for figuring out exactly what you're going to love next. The two most fundamental strategies really just boil down to this: knowing your tastes and knowing your tribe. The first method looks inward at the content you like. The other one looks outward at the community of other users who are a lot like you. Let's break those down. First up, we've got the content expert. The technical name is content-based filtering, and this is all about knowing your tastes. So let's say you watch Inception. The system doesn't just see a movie, it sees a bunch of tags or features like sci-fi, action, thriller. It then scans its entire library for other movies that share those same tags, and voila, it suggests The Matrix. It's simple, it's logical, and it's all about you. All right, the second strategy is the social expert, or what's called collaborative filtering. This one is all about knowing your tribe. It kind of ignores the features of the items themselves and instead focuses only on what people do. The system finds your digital twins, other people who, say, love the exact same set of books that you do. If it sees that all those people also love another book that you haven't read yet, it makes a pretty smart bet that you're going to love it too.
Now, in reality, these systems are rarely just one or the other. The most powerful guides out there, the ones at Netflix and Spotify, are what we call hybrids. They masterfully blend these strategies, and a bunch of other ones too, to get the best of both worlds. And that leads to way more accurate and, honestly, more surprising recommendations.
But let's be honest for a second. The guide isn't perfect, not by a long shot. Sometimes it completely misreads the map, or just gets stuck on the same old path, and it's really important to understand why that happens. One of the biggest problems is just getting stuck in a rut. If you watch a lot of action movies, a simple guide might only ever show you more action movies. It creates this echo chamber, right? Where you get more and more of what you already like, but you completely miss out on the chance to discover a new genre or some amazing hidden gem.
Then there's the blind spot. In the industry, this is known as the cold start problem. I mean, what happens when you're a brand new user? The guide knows absolutely nothing about you. Or what about a brand new movie that nobody has rated yet? The system has zero data to work with. It's a classic chicken and egg problem for any recommender out there. And finally, these systems can easily turn into a big popularity contest. They can develop a bias towards things that are already trending, which just makes popular items even more popular, while new or niche creators really struggle to get noticed. This can totally stifle discovery and create a pretty unfair landscape.
So this shows us that the best recommendations aren't just about being accurate.
A truly great guide has to balance a bunch of different goals. Sure, accuracy matters a lot, but you also need diversity to broaden your horizons. You need novelty to discover brand new things, and you need that little magical ingredient, serendipity. You know, that perfect, unexpected find that just makes your day.
So what does the future hold? How is our personal guide evolving to get smarter and fairer and even more helpful? Let's take a look.
The technology has evolved incredibly fast. We started with those simple similarity methods we just talked about. Then came the era of deep learning, where AI could suddenly find these unbelievably complex and subtle patterns in our behavior. And now we're entering this new, more thoughtful phase, human-centered AI, which really prioritizes our experience as people, not just as data points.
So the future is really focused on making your guide a true partner, and it's doing that by directly addressing its own flaws. Explainability builds trust by telling you why it made a suggestion. Fairness aims to solve that whole popularity contest thing by reducing bias and giving new creators a real chance, and conversational guides will actually let you give direct feedback, helping you break out of that echo chamber rut, all while, hopefully, doing a much better job of protecting your privacy.
This quote from the research really just sums it all up perfectly. The goalposts have moved. The people who create these systems now realize that a successful recommendation isn't just one you click on. No, it's one that surprises you, it's one that delights you, and ultimately, it's one that respects you as a user. It's all about long-term satisfaction now, not just short-term clicks. So as these guides get more powerful and more human-centered, it leaves us with a really fascinating question. They are tools for discovery, right? They're designed to break us out of our bubbles and show us the incredible vastness of human creativity. The question is no longer just what the algorithm will show us, but what we will ask it to find. Thanks for watching.